to as fertility care for over 14 years now. And in my 14 years of being in my office and answering phone calls from scared couples, they have lots of misconceptions out there about how hard fertility care or natural family planning is, how much learning there will be, how that learning education will go, or how much support they will have along the way. The method that we teach at Avera McKenna is called the Creighton method of fertility care. It's something that we really strongly encourage couples to come together and learn from the very first night all the way through the visits. Obviously, with life and work and children, that doesn't always happen, but husbands are always welcome to come to the class and to all the follow-up sessions afterwards. It's very non-threatening. It's a very quiet, safe environment. That first night that couples come, they're invited for there as a group. That's the only time that they'll meet as a group, but they're there for a variety of different reasons. And as I walk through that first intro class that night, I try and touch base on an example of all those different issues, why those couples might be there. I think it's nice for them to meet as a group that first time, just so they can look around the room and they can see that there's other people just like them that are normal and young and healthy and have the same heart that want to learn this. And I think that's comforting or a safe environment to start in. That first night, I talked through just some very basics of what fertility care is all about. It's all assumed that we all know how our bodies work just from high school science class, but you'd be amazed how many adults forgot what they learned in high school and have taken a lot of misconceptions just out of the media or movies or something they've read or heard from a friend. So we walked through some basic anatomy and physiology, and then I walked through some basic hormone things that I didn't even learn in nursing school. It was just assumed that as a woman, you just know these things and you know how they operate. And then I walked through the practicalities of what fertility care means to a couple. Obviously, it's going to be the woman's job to make those observations every day, but it's the husband's job to encourage her every single day. Hey, did you remember to check today? Or how are things going? Or thank you for doing that for us. Or can I help you chart tonight? Do you have any questions? Maybe she's just not quite sure what to put down on her chart or has some questions as to the details, but she has an extra set of ears and an extra encourager that's with her 24/7 that can say, hey, I think this is what I heard in class and this is what this means, or just to reassure her that what she saw was normal and healthy and yep, chart it this way and this is how we're going to appreciate your fertility. Then I walk through a variety of different examples because I get a lot of couples who call and say, we'd really like to use your method, but you're probably going to tell us we can't. We haven't had a period for several years. We suffer from infertility. I haven't had a regular cycle since I was a teenager. I'm really overweight and it would probably be difficult for me to use this method. I'm breastfeeding, so that probably means that all bets are off until my cycles return to normalcy, right? No, that's wrong as well. Then sometimes I get phone calls from couples whose children are in high school or college, and for whatever reason, whether it be financial reasons or medical reasons, or finally they've come to a point in their life for religious reasons that they say, hey, we need to do something natural to plan our families. But they're saying, Barb, the thought of a car seat or a diaper bag in our back seat again when our kids are in high school or college, that's really scary. Do you think this is safe for us to use? Of course it's safe for you to use. It's just as effective at that stage of their marriage as it was before they were engaged, and they can learn it just as well, and it's just as effective. And together as a couple, they still use that information. So those are fun couples to work with as well. A lot of people have misconceptions about fertility care or family planning from family members or just friends out in public, like, oh, that method, that's what you're going to choose to use? Good luck to you. Or, oh, so you guys want to have 16 kids? If they want to have 16 kids, that's an awesome blessing from God. But if that's not what they want in their family, then that's okay. Because this is a natural method that has so much more science behind it. It has physicians standing behind it. It now has scientific research behind it. There's no guessing. There's nurses like myself all across the United States and many different countries abroad who have taken specific training to be able to help couples learn this method and walk through this and keep up with them and encourage them and support them and help them understand and feel confident that what they are observing and charting is correct and help them gain confidence in what they see. I think a lot of times husbands come to that intro class really reluctantly because in their minds they feel like this is a girl thing. They shouldn't have to come to a girl class. They're going to feel really silly. I think it's often surprising and comforting to them to see that there are other men in the room that are there supporting their spouses and that it is a couple thing, that they can be just as involved as the woman by daily encouragement. I have some husbands who have total control of the chart. The chart stays on their nightstand or on their desk or in their drawer, and every single night they ask their wife, what did you see today? What should we chart? And they sit down together as a couple and they study that cycle, and they understand that cycle just as well or better sometimes than the woman does, just by being there and participating. And that helps them feel just as involved. And it also takes a lot of pressure off the woman, so she doesn't feel like the gatekeeper. She's not the fertility cop or saying yes or no or maybe, or feeling like she's standing in this by herself. Couples need to understand that this is a couple method and that they are in a married, committed relationship, and this is part of that, and this will do nothing but draw them closer together as they better understand each other's bodies and cycles. Another benefit is that they're going to be able to, obviously they're looking for the normalcy in a cycle, but they're also going to be able to recognize the irregularities in a woman's cycle a lot sooner. So maybe I meet them as an engaged couple and they start their charting and they work into their marriage, but now as time has gone on, things have really changed. Things in terms of her cycle have changed, or hormone-wise, and they're just not sure. They're starting to think about planning a family, but is it safe to start planning a family? Do we need to go see a physician? By having that daily charting, by sharing it with their nurse practitioner that they follow with, or whoever's helped training them, and are encouraged to go to the doctor and seek out treatment or hormone testing, or just for verification with their physician before they start trying, a lot of times that instills confidence, and sometimes problems can be identified before a couple even tries to conceive a baby, and that's very helpful as well. I think the biggest thing that couples need to understand is that they shouldn't be scared to call and to come to an intro class with a nurse. Call ahead of time, explain your particular circumstance, or stick around after the class and share your particular concerns with the nurse that's teaching the class and say, hey, do you really think, or explain to me how this can help our situation? And I'm quite certain that she'd be more than happy to sit down with the two of you and explain how this will help you guys in terms of your cycles or in terms of your relationship. But the biggest thing is not to be scared to go and to listen and to learn about your bodies and to overcome that fear that this is something scary or difficult or something that can't work or won't work, because it will. It's very easy to learn and easy to interpret, and it's something that you can use from before the time that you are married up and until the time of menopause. So as you plan your family, as your babies come, as you nurse babies, as babies grow, this is something that you can use your whole procreative career.